Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to this episode of Sentai Sensibility. As always, I am TR Grimm. You can find me in Pathic_Grimm everywhere on the internet, and I'm going to quickly go around the horn so we can get back into the action. Let's go ahead and start with Michael. Tell us about Cadman and introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, I'm Michael. You can find me online at RoboSardy doing art and animation, but today I'm playing Cadman Cavendish. Uh, well, pretty boy, uh, noble, without a care in the world, uh, d dear brother to Felicity Fairfax, and I am here to have a ball, quite literally.
All right, let's go ahead and do Blake. You're up.
Hello, everybody. I'm Blake, and I'm playing Duke Francis Patrick Brown, the melancholy Duke, but Duke nonetheless. I'm looking forward to hopefully not dying, but such is life sometimes as a Duke. And I'll pass it back.
Let's go ahead and do Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I play Felicity Fairfax, who's Cadman's stepsister. We are the dynamic duo. I run, as for what I do on my own, I run my own campaign called Damsels. It's a nice, cozy 5e campaign with all female leads, and Michael plays in it too. We have a lot of fun, a lot of good times there, and we have a great crew here. I love playing with this team. We have great actors and great GMs. So I'm ready here. I'm ready to play.
Morgan.
What's up, travelers? I'm Morgan, and I'm with My Play Mondays. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me on social media everywhere except on Twitter at My Play Mondays. On Twitter, it's My Play Mun. I'm the founder of My Play Mondays. We run games for people, so check us out. Also, in this game, I am playing Arthur Percy Blackwood, the Cowboy Count, as he's been so called, apparently. So, and I'm also the Purple Ranger. So let's get this going. I'm excited to play with this wonderful group. I love them so much. Let's go.
And last but most certainly not least, Natalie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie. Find me most places on the internet with Ghost Candle or Ghostly Candle on Twitch and YouTube. I am an artist and an actual play performer. So if you want to see what I am up to, make sure you follow me so you can get all the latest news on what I am doing. But tonight I'm playing our fair Miss Beatrice P. Douglas, a very stoic, rigorous woman, anticipation of entering a brawl in this very moment that we're coming into. So we'll see if her more Scottish side will come out.
So, the last we left our rangers at the Pavamati Ball, an interloper has arisen with a mask covering his face like a true scoundrel. The superimposed crescent moon over the sun and summoning these odd star-headed henchmen of some sort. And for the five of you, you hear the echoing voice. Hello, Rangers. I have need of you. And as you look around, you realize that everything from shards of falling glass, to the people of the room, to the music in the air, is still.
Something ain't right.
Beatrice has already, pulled gloves from underneath her skirts and is throwing them on, these leather padded glove. It's like, what in darn...
You're
What do you
muted.
plan to do with those?
How did you store those? And it's just, why is the glass not moving? And it's just it was next to Catherine.
Did you hear that, sister? Did everybody hear that?
A voice, yes.
Oh, that's
Voice.
Rangers.
Maybe it's some sort of joke or
Is it?
something. I mean,
Do y'all have Texas Rangers here?
you
Oh,
don't know what
well,
here?
You know, Texas Rangers.
No, how? No.
Familiar with the
Are they
Texas
supposed to be
Ranger.
here?
I don't know if we have any Texas Rangers here in Angel's Crest.
But we had
Now.
the
Well, now then,
Arcane.
I have no
And-
idea
and-
what
and
it
everyone-
would be otherwise.
And no one's moving, right? So the people are still too.
No one at all is
I'm gonna
moving.
walk. I'm gonna walk up a little bit to like the main guy who just dropped in. I'm gonna walk and say like 5 feet away, but it's kind of just walk to get a better look at him. See if he has any weapons or anything untowards. So I'm gonna walk to him.
So before you start, you do realize as you're looking around that all of you have this glowing golden Roman numeral on right above their chest. You can't see your own if you look down, but you can see one on everybody else's.
Why are y'all glowing?
You are also glowing.
Am I glowing?
Yes, brother, you're glowing.
You too,
As you guys
sister.
go,
Oh yeah, I do
As-
see it.
as you go around, Cadman has the only one without an actual Roman numeral, but a 0.
I think they.
AP has a Roman numeral for 1. You see 12 for Felicity. You see a 14 on Beatrice. And a 18 on Duke Brown.
Now,
You have all studied the occult. You have an understanding of progressive Roman numerals to a degree. Beatrice, especially with her speciality in the occult. And as Beatrice is starting to put the pieces together, there is the sound of clacking as a figure strides, no matter where you are in the room, the corner of your eye. As seemingly in front of all of you appears this woman, and in front of all of your faces. She is in a beautiful silver gown with what looks like a trapped rainbow as a shawl. Her face is also a mask, but it is artwork and pastels swirling and spinning around each other. As she looks each of you over, yes, you'll do nicely, my rangers. As she twists her hands and the numbers pull from your chest, solidifying into a single tarot card in front of you.
Excuse me. What did you just call us? I'm sorry.
Rangers.
Rangers.
Well, it's not my name, but
You
okay.
have much to do. You have much to do, my rangers. I will speak to you later. As
what is this for?
That's kind of rude to not
you
give
are
your
all
name, but nice to meet
glasses
you.
falling, music is screeching to a halt, and people are screaming as they are running away from you guys.
God's clarity would be much appreciated.
Very. What are these? Why are we getting tarot?
Yeah, I think I look at the card that is in my hand.
All magic. It's magic.
So there is a scream that as you guys look around. Miss Pravamati is on the ground. Leopold has been slashed to the side. You see some blood leaking from underneath his fallen body as one of these globe-headed, constellation-having creatures stalks towards Miss Pravamati.
There's no time for questions. And I'm gonna run forward. Just kind of, I'm like not even thinking. I'm gripping the card in my hand, and I'm just gonna run towards Miss Pavamati.
And we'll follow suit.
Drawing my saber and my revolver.
As everyone starts moving, because I'm assuming everybody is moving to do something at this point.
Mhm.
Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think for Beatrice, you'd see Cadman go on point and is like, all right, everyone, there's additional targets within the room. Keep a lookout, go for the nearest one, and help anyone down and in trouble.
Even if it's not going to attack someone, we're going to help somebody. I'm sure that everybody in the room is doing something. You hear a whisper in your head. Use the cards and embody your true self. And you all know what to do.
Okay.
Just instinctually. Who wants to start the process?
I'll start it off
Cadman,
because I'm running forward. I'm like, right.
you know what to do.
And I hold the card forward. I bring it over, flip it to the face side to reveal the Fool, and I put it into my breast pocket.
And as you do, a wave of vermilion pools forth around you. And what the rest of you see, or you will be in your own transformations, but what everybody else sees is this flood of vermilion, resplendent, as it almost sounds like a cavalry charge. As he steps through, what is your ranger outfit look like?
So I imagined it as he's wearing a red vermilion military coat that has like the what are the things on their shoulders called? Are they called
Epaulets.
epaulets? Thank you. Yeah, with like golden epaulets like on it, and he has like a red he has a red helmet, and within the visor is the profile of a horse head. And as he charges forward, he instinctually reaches out, and before him you see a round shield that has a profile of a horse standing on its hind legs.
Horse rampant.
Yes, horse rampant. Thank you.
Perfect. Who's next?
I'm ready to go.
All right, hit it.
So Felicity is very much out of her element, seeing all this chaos around her. She sees someone on the ground. We'll say that we'll say it's Bianca. Can it be Bianca?
It can entirely be Bianca.
Yeah, it's Bianca, and there's like a little bit of an eye roll, but she's like, all right, fine. And then she goes over to help her, but like it's too heavy, and then the table or whatever that fell on her. So she hears the voice in her head, and then she pulls out the card, and she hears music playing in her head, filling her with power, and she instinctually places it over her heart, and then from the clavicle she like pulls out this. She tilts her head to the side and then pulls out a baton of light from her neck, and then you see the silhouette of like these magic ribbons basically coiling around her, and you see the silhouette of like a hanged man, and then she flicks her wrist to the side, and the ribbons disperse into a golden light, and she steps out and has this resplendent like yellow gold outfit that has there are pants in front, but she has this like train behind her, and
There's a bustle.
Yes, she has like this bustle behind her and high boots, and then like a fitted corset, yeah, fitted corset with like a princess cut, if you know what that looks like. And she has long elegant sleeves, matching gloves, and then the helmet to match all of it. And she pulls out the baton and is ready to go.
Perfect. All right, who's next?
I guess I'll go. So Beatrice just instinctually is calling out for people to go in directions pins the nearest threat to her and begins to dash forward. And the moment that voice comes in, and feeling the card in the hand, instead of just going to a straight one run, she almost does a slight ballet motion as her arms cross up, card in hand. And as she crosses her hand, she turns the card over to the Temperance, and just a black veil of feathers shoot out and envelop her before she bursts out of it once more, and this black-clad ranger fitted like a riding habit, where it's tall collar, puff around the shoulders, but slims down the arms, and just this A-line skirt, but there's a shimmer of patterns that make it all look like feathers all through her fashion. And when she flicks the card up, it dissipates in a silvery glow as metalled boxing gauntlets cast over her hands, and she grips her fists, and in the final flash of black light, she gets her helmet with a visor similar to a swan.
Fantastic. AP.
Oh, I thought Blake might.
Oh,
wanna
if
go
Blake was, I'm sorry, Blake. If you want to go first,
Okay,
go first.
it's up to you. It's up to you. Do you want to?
You go ahead. You look like you're about to say something.
You
Go
look
ahead.
ready. You look ready. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in his head, he thinks like, you know who you are. I'm like, lady, I do have no clue who I am. And I just stick the card back in the coat pocket, and as I do, a white light just kind of erupts from it, enveloping him, and just turns, and all you see is like almost like he's in a full silhouette of just white that slowly turns to a more softer almond color. You can tell it's like the outline of a coat, but you don't see it. Just looks like almost like a silhouette of an almond light. Um, Helmet onto. You see some features of the helmet looks. You can see some sort of symbol on it, on the helmet itself. It's almost hard to look at unless you kind of really glance. But yeah, that is me.
AP pulls up the card and he calls out, I summon the violet vortex of the Maverick Arcana, the master of the mystic draw. And as he does, he pulls the card right across the revolver and it begins to spin. And as the revolver spins, it begins to change. And you see the whole hand begin to morph up the arm through the whole body. And the helmet comes up. And his outfit is a mixture of Western and like mysticism. His overall appearance is it's got like this form-fitting armor. It retains some of the elements of the gunslinger. You can see the holster and everything on the hip. You also see the saber hanging on the other side. It's got silver and gold accents that along it that give him like this regal air. As you can tell that he is definitely still part of you guys here in the courts. His helmet actually has a little bit of a stylized wide brim around the hat shape, and it comes up over the visor, almost like you can like howdy kind of thing with the visor. And as it goes down, the armor itself it has like arcane symbols all over it, and on the belt buckle, you know, like cowboys got to have big belt buckles. It's actually a tarot card on the belt buckle that goes with the holster. And what kind of cowboy would he be without beautiful, sleek, metallic cowboy boots with gold spurs sticking out the back of them? He also has a duster that is black, gold, and purple that goes along with it.
Fantastic. As you guys all finish your transformations, you see as all of these minions now look towards you as you hear a sneer coming from this masked man in the middle of the room. I see my partner has found her dancers. Oh well, what a shame. I must adieu. As he just brings his hand in front of his face, twisting upwards, as in a beam of moonlight. It's almost like he squishes down and then disappears straight up, leaving you guys with these constellation minions.
Now, well, that's not very polite. Showing up at a party just to bring uninvited guests and then leaving.
Cadman,
Mm-hmm.
you were in the process of trying to save Lady Georgiana.
Yes.
Go ahead. How would you like to try to do that?
I'm going to jump in front of her and defend with my shield.
Only vigor for me.
Okay. Come on.
I believe in you, Cadman. You got this.
I don't think I got this. I rolled a 2.
You don't for this one. You get, as it rears up, much stronger than any human would be able to do. You see it just rear up and just punch you. It punches the shield. You're not hurt, but you are sent backwards a little bit, and you are set off kilter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like kind of like pushed back. I'm in front of Lady Georgiana. I'm like, don't worry, Lady Parvati. Your new beginning has arrived.
And don't forget, Cadman, you take a mark of peril.
Okay.
All right.
I think I was following suit.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Go.
No. Duke Brown, you were following suit. Go ahead.
So yes, I will listening to Beach. So I'll go to someone else that needs help. I think it said someone was bleating.
There are
Correct?
many
I'll probably go to
people.
the
There
person
are
trying
many.
to- Yeah,
Yeah, there
I'll
are
go to
many
the closest
people
one
who
I can.
know.
The closest one, thinking of what Beatrice just said. So I'll go to the closest one. I want to try to help them. What would that be? Would that be etiquette?
So
Trying to-
what kind of help or what kind of what kind of help are you trying to do? Are you trying to guide them? Are you trying to calm them? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to protect them? What you're trying to do dictates how we play this off.
I gotcha. Yes, as a Duke, I think protecting my people is the main thing. So I'm going to try to protect because I feel
Perfect.
that's my
So
duty, anyways.
feeling that urge of protection, you are driven to just fling your hand down to the side, and as you do, this beautiful almond and gray cricket bat shaped item forms in your hand. It's somewhere between a club and a cricket bat, but it's a very natural weight in your hand. It's something you know how to swing. You can kind of tell that whatever this entity, whatever this thing is that you are using, it's trying to find something that's familiar to you. So go ahead and roll a dueling for me.
Dueling, okay. Oof. Okay, so that's going to be a mark because that's a 3, and then I'll roll again to see if
You
if I get a
barely miss it.
1, then if I can get that, they'll get, and I don't. So, but I stay because it's over 1.
Right.
So
So you go and you're swinging, and you're still not used to these powers. As you swing, you misjudge the distance. It's not longer. It's not as long as it feels the weight should make it.
mhm.
So you just a little short, but it does cause the creature to a little bit sillily back up a little bit as it makes this almost chiming, jingling sound.
In a split second, you just hear me just sigh. Well, you don't hear me sigh because I'm masked, but I just like inwardly I just kind of shake my head. Of course, but yeah.
All right. AP, go ahead.
Oh, okay. AP is going to. He has the revolver out. He's going
Duel.
to unload on one of them, or attempt to unload. That would be a 6.
That hits it for a dueling.
Yeah, that's pretty. So.
So as you do a full stand and deliver marksman's fire on it, you do a hit and you send this thing. It hits stronger. Yeah, it hits harder than it looks like it should. This isn't a standard bullet in your gun. This is a shot of energy that impacts and sends this creature flipping through the air, smacking into another one, and they both kind of fall out of the way. Yeah.
Where have you been my whole life?
Are those guns? Are those what guns are like in America? Is that what?
Well, I don't know about the ones in America, but this one here is special. And you look at it, it doesn't look like the revolver that was on my way. It does, but it doesn't. It looks like it's been changed slightly as well, like it morphed with the suit.
Beatrice.
Yeah, so Beatrice, fists up, she's sort of maneuvering the dance floor, trying to trip up the nearest threat that is towards her. She's like, well, if you're gonna dare come into a ball, you best be ready to fight. I'm gonna show you the right scalping that you deserve.
So, are you trying to... Are you going to be throwing a punch, or are you trying to outmaneuver right now? Which one are you kind of going for?
I think Beatrice, initial instinct, because she's never seen anything like this before, she doesn't know where the power or strength is. She's trying to kind of maneuver them to test if there's any weakness in their stance.
Do a footwork for me.
What die? Let's use this die. Ooh, that's a 1.
Well, no, there's benefits to that, because that is your honor.
Yeah.
So, for your honor, give me just 1 second as I pull. Sorry, there it is. All right. So, anything that would revolve into your society, you can do this to invoke your honor. This would also include your own personal background, and as a professional boxer, I would say that you're able to pull this one off, even with your honor. So you are able to shift right as one is, and you almost don't make it in time. You have this realization as you are kind of trying to swipe and move that you don't move quite the same as you used to. You're almost lighter, which throws off your own movements a little bit. But you're able to kind of snap back into focus, and the Queen of the Ring, that persona, that personality kind of snaps into place. In the Scottish burr, in the back of your mind, you hear yourself snapping you back to reality as you dodge out of the way, and you can see with the way these things throw, they hit hard, but they don't look like they can take a hit well. And you see that their movements are very weighted towards the ends of their extremities. If you can stop a hit, if you can, before it gets going, if you can stop the momentum, you can control this fight really easily. Miss Felicity Fairfax. Are we still attempting to help Miss Bianca?
Yes, but I, of course, am not going to do it myself. So I look for the strongest strapling men around, and I attempt to engage them and say, "Gentlemen, we have a lady on the floor who needs to help escape." And I gesture towards Bianca.
Roll an etiquette for me.
Love it.
That's a 4.
So, you don't get the etiquette, but you do get your hero, because you are transformed. And so you walk over, and you are resplendent, and they are in awe of you. And they just, yes, of course, you're so correct, madam. As you see 2 or 3 very, larger strapping gentlemen go over and kind of leave this very heavy oaken table off of Bianca, as your brother actually reaches down and helps her up.
See to it that she is seen out the door, and then
Of course.
I will go over to the piano
As one does.
and sit down. And if this requires another roll, probably, so we'll just wait for our next turn.
Perfect. So, Cadman, you recover.
Yeah. I'm like knocked back. How's Georgiana?
She seems to be worried about Leopold and is kind of lost to the threats around her, as she is trying to turn him over and see what she can do to treat him. But you do see there are more of these entities coming towards her.
Yeah, being knocked back, and I'm like, okay, maybe we should switch it up a bit. and I am just gonna I'm like Captain America. I'm gonna take my shield and throw
Yeah,
it
you
at
are. Roll
the
a
enemies.
dueling for me, buddy.
Thank you.
Do it. Please tell me it
Come on.
bounces off and hits multiple ones. That'd
We're
be
gonna
dope.
see
I
what
want
happens.
we're gonna see. Oh, come on.
Roll the 8, roll the 8, roll the 8.
Oh no. I got a 3.
Buddy. Take roll your die again for me.
Okay.
It's got to beat a 2. Come on, come on. Or actually get a 2. That'd be perfect.
Okay, I got a 7.
You don't get a mark of peril,
Okay.
so it's a positive. You go for the throw, and as you throw, you hit one of them, but you hit the fist, which does make it turn and hit its buddy in the head, but it doesn't do any actual damage to it, as the shield bounces back almost magically to your arm.
Oh. All right.
You did, however, save somebody else in that moment by being able to throw and catch your shield. The punch that was going was actually aiming for somebody else, so you did save somebody.
Yeah, and can I add just a little bit of flavor
Of
to
course
it?
you can.
As the shield is thrown, there is like a whirl of like a gust of wind and a whirl, like kind of like a whirlwind that comes with like the shield. And there is just like a speckle of just like rose petals that like come off it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, that fits. That tracks.
Yep.
All right.
Marvelous.
I guess I will try again to hand sweating, like, if fear I'm gonna miss again. I'm taking it back to the last time I was at bat and I didn't come through. So I'm gonna try again to hit the guy in front of me. So I assume it's gonna be a dueling, correct?
This is going to be a dueling.
Ooh, okay. Well then, that is a 6. So
As you go, you hear the voice of your father in your head. And this is something that it's a memory you don't remember, but it feels like something that he has said to you in the past, and you hear your father's voice. A true Duke, a proper Duke, no matter what, above all else, protects those within his demesnes. Breathe. You've got this. As you turn, and as you do that swing, you clock this globe-headed goon in the right across the bulbous head of it, and you send it slamming against a wall where it just disappears into starlight.
Impressive, Badger. Do it again.
well, a lucky shot is all. Just a little bit of luck. That's all.
And with that, AP feeling like his body feeling lighter, I look around. Do I see several targets?
There are
who's in
many
most-
targets.
I don't know if I can pop up and pop and try to take out a couple or not. I don't know how that would work.
So,
You know how
okay.
they do in the Power Rangers show where they jump up and they do like the spin around and
Right,
hit several
right.
targets? I don't know if that's possible. That's why, if it is,
So-
I'd like to do it. If not, then
You need to roll your hero for it.
okay. Okay, so but mine's
I will
only
look-
10, right?
I will. Yes, you do not get 4, 6, 8, 10. You just get 10.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm just going to focus on trying to hit somebody. But if I do roll hero,
Right. So, and that's what we'll do. We'll go for you doing a jump shot. If you rolled your hero, I'll let you do your fan the hammer.
All right. You're not going to believe it.
Is it your hero?
It is. I
Is
swear
it
to
your
God.
hero? You
I
have
swear
to
to
show
God.
me. I believe you. I believe
Yes.
you. I was
Yes.
hoping, because I love when the dice follow the narrative.
Yes.
So you do, and you feel this.
Yeah.
You feel this
That's my only tip.
power thrumming through you, and you see the chamber of your revolver starts spinning on its own. And as it does, you see an arcane symbol that you remember from a book in your uncle's study. Before power shoots down the barrel, and as you do your jump and you do your shot, it's a combination of your own skill and the whatever this power is amplifying your own abilities. You pop, 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 pop. You do 6 shots from your revolver, and 6 of these things just explode into starlight.
And as he's doing it, you hear him go, "Yeah!" Oh, that was for you, Cadman.
Beatrice.
So, dancing off with the one that she measured, she gets into a lower stance, ready to turn them off and doing like a hard right hook right into the side where the kid.
I will give you advantage on this one because you spent your last turn figuring out not only your own weight and everything else in this, but also how these goons work. You get advantage on this one.
2 dice. It's a 1 and a 6.
Hey, you know what? You go in and how do you do a combo? Is it a single shot? What are you doing?
Yeah, this becomes a moment where around Beatrice's mind is just everything slows. The screams and shouts of those around her quiet out. And she just hears her own breath as she and just full fist strikes, and when it was supposed to be a crosscut, ends up going to an uppercut underneath the ribcage to send him up and tumbling in the air before she does a multi-strike, like she's juggling him in the air.
And that's exactly what it is. And as you juggle him, you actually knock 1, 2, 3 more in the air, and for your last straight punch, you punch one into another, as they slam against one of the pillars of the Pavamati estate, exploding into stars behind it.
Hell, Mindy. Who's next?
Miss Fairfax.
I go to the piano bench and I sweep my bustle behind me, and I descend into the piano bench. I extend my fingers over the keys, and I begin to play by memory Beethoven's Sonata Number 17, The Tempest, 3rd Movement. This is to empower my friends in their combat.
Not only, and what you've done with this is you've given everybody an advantage for the next round, but as you begin to play, what everybody else sees is the ribbon and wand slide away from Felicity as it starts to move to the rhythm of the music, the ribbon whipping itself around over and over and over. Before, roll me a duel real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it wouldn't be a duel for you. Roll me a footwork, because it'll be tripping up people. It won't be actually attacking.
It's a 3.
So yes, as your ribbon spins around, it's kind of helping contain and direct the remaining minions towards your friends, and as it does, you see it occasionally trips one, sets up another. So again, for the next round of combat, everybody has advantage. And this is the most perfectly you have ever played this piece.
I'm in the zone.
You are in the zone. Cadman, you know your sister's playing music. You feel it in your very soul as you feel the inspiration and the power. You feel like you need to try throwing the shield one more time.
Thank you, dear sister. And I throw the shield, but I wind up even further and hurl it as hard as I can.
Believe in you.
Okay. That's a 5.
You know what? For a dueling, it works for this. As it goes 1, 2, 3, smacking these things further back, tripping over each other as one of them falls back, impaling itself onto a piece of glass, exploding into starlight. Another one is just tossed way off balance and just falls, its head slamming the ground hard enough that it also shatters in the starlight, as a third just stumbles back, entirely unready for whatever's about to happen next to it. And the shield again pings off of one more thing before, without you even moving your arm, slides right into place.
Beautiful.
Duke Brown.
As Patrick hears Felicity play, like he for a split second you see him turn his head and kind of look longingly towards Felicity, hoping that she might look towards him, but she's focused on the music, so he just kind of sighs and looks back to his to who's, because I'm knocking out in front of me, so who's next? Is there anyone needs help or anyone needs defending still?
There is you do see that there is Martinez Parvamati is on the ground. The general had just been smacked aside, and there is a larger, stronger looking one that has a constellation that you actually recognize. It is the constellation Sagittarius, and it has a bow and arrow as it pulls back to release another shot into the crowd.
Yeah, so I'm charging. I'm going to attack that one to help defend the rest of the people. So I'm going to, with advantage. Let's see. Will this be dueling again?
This will be dueling again.
Really? Well, that one's gone. Haha. And that's going to be a mark because that is 2 2s. Oh.
You do have advantage.
Yeah, that was 2 2s. And so what happened too is that I was just so distracted by the music, because like it reminds me, I remember her playing and just how good she's gotten, and it gets in my mind, and just those years missed, and it just, the swing, just something's not there. So
it doesn't there, but it draws the attention of Sagittarius. And he misses his shot, but he looks at you, and you are now next to him. Most of these constellation goons are the top of their bulbous, a little bit silly heads are about even with your chin. Sagittarius is the same height as you. The center of his head is the same, is looking mask to mask with you.
Well, I say to him, or whoever there, I say to them, well, the person I want to dance with hasn't danced with me, so I guess you'll have to do.
You hear just a very deep blah, blah, as it turns, and you realize now it's not holding the bow. The bow is in fact its hand. As it turns and rolls a punch at you, roll a vigor for me.
Ooh, okay. Five. Ooh. Barely, that's a 5.
It works. You have been taught how to fight. You are a duke. You know how to duel. You know the way to, you've learned better the way to this bat, is you are able to flourish, knocking and catching one of the hooks of the bow aside. And it's almost a very melancholic, lackadaisy flourish as you knock it away. You know, and it stumbles back a little bit, but now it seems to be focusing on you, so its attention is not on other people.
Come on, let us dance, shall we?
You're muted. There you go.
Yep. I look around. Do I see anybody that is currently in danger at this moment near me?
Near you, you see some people who are trapped underneath some rubble. You do see someone who is afraid to move because they are surrounded by very large shards of glass.
Okay. Don't really know. I'm not really built to get them out of like that. Well, would that be vigor to like lift that thing up so they can get out from underneath?
It would be vigor to lift the thing up so they can get out.
Or could I slice
if you have
it
something
with a sword?
else,
Could I slice it with a sword?
You can duel. If you want to roll a duel to slice it with the sword, as you pull out your sword, if you're going to do that, we can do that. It's up to you. How do you want to do it?
Well, it's just because my vigor, I got a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. The dueling is only a 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'd be more likely to succeed. But the dueling just sounds cooler, like slicing the debris like off of them kind of thing. So I'll go for especially since we're rolling an advantage anyways, right?
Right. This is your time to do it.
So yeah, what? Go ahead. What does the saber look like?
So as you draw out the saber, there is the
Double
basket of course it is. What else would it be? It is actually an owl with the wings folding down, causing the cross guard, and it ending with this flutter. And as you pull, it is silent as an owl in flight, but leaves by a faint trickle of purple owl feathers that dissipate before they hit the ground. As a line of deepest violet cuts across this rubble, before it doesn't explode but implode on itself, vanishing and freeing them.
Perhaps now would be the time for you to get up and get on out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And as you know, as an older gentleman takes his wife and
skedaddle,
his wife and children, and they run out of there.
And turn around to like just be ready for anything to come at me.
Beatrice.
After my initial fist juggling here, turning around and measuring the scene here, how many enemies are sort of left on the field?
There aren't many. You do see that Duke Brown is kind of engaged in a one-on-one duel with, and he doesn't look like he needs help at this point. There's something morose about his movements, though. You've seen people who are within a melancholy fight before. It is not too different from that. But otherwise, most of the other star-headed goons have been dispatched, and people seem to be assisting each other fairly well. You do see that there is, you do hear next to you, though, from beneath a pile of rubble, soft crying.
And I immediately check that.
As you look down there, you see it as a girl who this must have been her debut into society. She looks very young. Not too young to be here, but she looks very scared and she looks very alone.
Oh, wee lass. I start moving the rubbles come on. You can trust me, come on.
She shimmies herself out. Thank you, as she starts running towards the door also.
Alright. I just watch to make sure nothing else is coming out, no debris falling down from ceiling.
There is a little bit of, as you look up, there is a little bit of movement that you think you might see out of your visor, as there seems to be almost a trickling of starlight working around the opening of the ceiling. You're not quite sure what that means.
Keep on foot, heads up.
What now?
A little busy over here.
What is around me?
Currently, because you made your way to the stage where the piano was. And you look resplendent on that stage, by the way. You have captured, there was someone else in the crowd that's going to be recreating this scene with you as the focal point. It is a stunning cinematic moment. As you finish off the one of the flourishes in the piece, you do look around. You do see that Duke Brown has his focus on the largest of these things, and you also recognize the helmet is also a bit. This one's not round. It's almost similar to your guys' in shape. It's much more fitted to a humanoid body, but you can see almost through the head with the Sagittarius constellation reversed for you into Duke Brown's visor. But it seems like there isn't much else going on besides this in this moment. Besides that, and as you catch Beatrice's words, and you also look up for a moment, because you are on a little bit of an elevated difference, you are able to see that there's another group of these things kind of circling around the top. You're not quite sure what they're doing, and you're trying to get a count.
Okay, do it.
And As you do, you see that there appear to be 17 of these things circling around up top. And it takes you a second, but you find one that's distinct enough for you to remember as you go 1, 2, and you count around. Which you also know is the same number of stars that are in the Sagittarius constellation.
And they're descending directly above me, or just
they're not descending. They're just circling. They're not even. They have to be floating, but they're circling above the top. And you kind of notice that as the form with Duke Brown, as they're circling each other, the epicenter of these circling figures follows the motions of this individual that Duke Brown is fighting against.
Okay. Is there a way to... It's ridiculous. Are there chandeliers in this room?
There are many chandeliers in this room. There are some that are even still standing at this point, surprisingly enough.
Okay. Can I do the classic, like, find the chandelier held up by a rope, and then, like, use the rope to fly up and get onto one of the chandeliers, thus getting closer to these beings?
Yes, and it's a very graceful... It's very
I was
it's very
PA over there.
self-floating. Yeah, right. It's as you graze and you do kind of bounce from one to another. Roll a footwork for me.
You got this.
The 4.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of the premiere. Your hero is always active. As you bounce around, jumping from position to position, you make your way up, and you are now on the roof. Do you try to jump outside of the circle of these spinning things to get a better observation of them? Or do you stay inside of the circle of them spinning?
I think she would stay. I think she might
with your hero.
The intention was to distract them or move them or something with them, because
as you try to touch, your hand passes through as one of them goes into and through your hand. It's almost like they're a phantasm.
Does it feel warm or cold, or not at all?
It feels like you imagine starlight feeling.
Okay. I will... Well, I guess she's just going to try to play with it. She'll, like, take her baton down and sort of, like, swirl them a little bit just to see what happens. Like, I don't know what to do with this.
Cadman.
Okay. After just catching my shield and, like, knocking the rest of those, like, enemies away, does Leopold and Lady Parvamati need help?
Leopold needs help. Leopold is not in good shape.
Okay.
He had protected Lady Georgiana from the falling glass, and there is a fairly large piece that you can see sticking out of his chest. Not near his heart, but still in his chest.
Okay, all right. I, like, as I kind of, like, begrudgingly, but I'm like, all right. And I
Your
run
shield dissipates as you run forward, and I'm assuming, are you just carrying him up and out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So roll me a vigor real quick. This is just to see how quickly you're able to get out and back in.
Okay. All right. This is very appropriate, as I rolled a 1.
This is your honor. You are being honorable in this moment. You are doing the truest thing. You are helping your love rival.
Yep.
And you are being a true hero. You are being the thing.
Does he have like glass like in his chest?
There is a large piece of glass in his chest, and you see the red oozing around it, staining this light blue gray waistcoat that he was wearing.
Would I be able to, like, before picking him up, swiftly, like, break the glass with my shield and then pick him up?
With you rolling your honor, yes, I will let you do that.
Okay.
You do, just to make it easier to carry, but less easier to hurt, and less likely to cut himself again.
Mhm.
You know, you in that moment know exactly how far down to cut, so that the surgeons can still remove it fairly easily
Mhm.
and tend to him without causing further risk of it being too large and damaging himself, or even worse, a piece inside of him breaking.
Mhm.
So you are able to, with a swing of your shield, and as you do, there's almost the sound of galloping as the shield spins on your arm as its own, and it's a perfectly clean cut as if you were a glass cutter yourself. And it shears off cleanly. You scoop him up, you carry him and lead Georgie.
Oh no. Did he freeze?
He froze.
No!
That means
When he
you
said
did it.
Lady
That means you got him
Georgiana.
out.
Gianna
She's a
out.
goner.
There are already doctors.
you-
Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah,
You're
you're
back.
back.
You
Yes.
froze.
Am I back?
You froze
Yeah,
right
yes.
when you said Lady Georgiana.
Okay, Lady George, you lead Lady Georgiana out. There are already surgeons in place, and there are doctors, and thankfully for the Pavamati estate, it is not too far from a hospital that they sponsor. So there are already doctors and surgeons who are already descending onto the estate en masse as they are taking care of people, and you see a face that you recognize. This is Dr. Samantha King. She is the most renowned surgeon within London at this moment. And you know with what's going on with Leopold. Sorry. You know with what's going on with Leopold that she is the one that he has to get to. With that, we're going to switch back over to the Duke.
So you see the Duke standing in front of the Sagittarius-like creature, and you just see us, we're locked eyes, and I think both of us know a duel's about to happen. So we both wait for that perfect moment, and I think you both see us go towards a strike at the same time. So I'd like to duel him. I'd like to do
Roll dueling.
and so that's a 5. And so as they go forth and they come together, you see me almost like disappear, like a chameleon, like my colors kind of match, blend the background. So where he thinks he is about to strike, he does not. And then I come through with the uppercut right in the chin, or whatever constitutes a chin in his face, with the bat.
So it's more than that. In that moment where you seem to slip out of sight, the sound and the visualization of the impact does not happen until you flash back into reality, standing post swing, the bat up, your head slightly down to the side, as just standing there stock still for a moment before the sound of the crack of your club-like cricket bat smacking into his head, and as you flourish your arm down, there's a crack that spreads around his entire headpiece before shattering.
Are they still standing?
The body holds for a second before it explodes into starlight. What Felicity notices in this moment is as these different pieces of starlight go up, they hit these different individual figures that have been circling around the top, and those figures shoot away. Not in the same way as the beings that disappeared into starlight, but almost like shooting stars heading back to a location that you cannot track.
And as I finish this, I just say, I guess no one wants to dance with me today. And that's my move. That's my turn.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
They danced with you. They danced with you. They just weren't a good dance partner. You took them out too quick.
Not the same, AP. It's not the same.
In the moment, for all of you, and this happens simultaneously. The second that the figure is the Sagittarius form is dispatched of, is the same moment that Cadman is putting Leopold down. And as soon as he stands back up, and I'm assuming that Cadman's getting ready to turn to Lady Georgiana at that moment after he sets Leopold down, as you turn to face Georgiana, you each disappear in a flash of your respective color. And you find yourselves now in this serene space. It is peaceful here. What is
Lady Lady Georgiana, are you okay? What?
What is one thing that when you think of comfort, each of you think of, and I'm going to start with Beatrice. When you think of comfort, what do you think? What comes to Beatrice's mind?
I think what comes to her mind is being on the back of her fellow pony Brody and seeing the cliffside of kind of the landscape of her home.
Right over the moors.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. AP, what is comfort to AP?
Comfort to AP would be a bar and a table with cards at it.
What is comfort to Cadman Cavendish?
Oh gosh. Okay.
If it's Lady Georgiana, I'm kicking you from this game. I'm just letting you know that right now.
You got to say what's right.
I'm cutting that one off.
No, it would naturally be the huntsman, and just like being in a nice smoking chair with a glass of brandy and a cigar.
Very similar, very similar. Miss Felicity Fairfax, what is comfort to you?
Well, in childhood, she and Patrick would often go to a lovely willow tree and sit underneath the boughs of that tree and share their dreams with one another. So whenever she is sad or lonely or gloomy, she thinks of those wonderful childlike innocent times.
We're fixing this relationship. I swear to God, we're fixing this relationship.
There's nothing to be
Badrick
fixed.
Brown.
All is
Shut
fine.
up. Badrick Brown. What does Badrick Brown think of when he thinks of
similarly?
Same willow tree.
Same willow tree.
But yes, but what makes it a little more than that is my parents are still alive, so I don't have to worry about being anything or who I am. I just know that I'm there with Felicity, and she's telling me about some story, and I can just listen. I don't have to worry about who I am or anything like that. I'm just listening to her tell a tale peacefully under this tree.
This space you are all in starts as a very warm, safe nothingness. There's no absence here. It's not a cold nothingness, but it feels embracive and like a hug. As the world around you solidifies into a wood-paneled room with a roaring fire, a bar in the back, a card table, with the Scottish moors with, oddly, a single willow tree close by outside the window that is ruffling and making a sound that only a willow tree in spring can make as the breeze from the channel hits the boughs just right.
Well, now, I think it's just a lovely place. As AB goes and sits at the table and begins shuffling.
As you look, so before you do, as you go to pick up, you see that there's a hand on the table. It is two jokers, king, queen, jack of spades.
No, that's a solid hand.
I thought you'd appreciate it. The voice that all of you heard in your head earlier comes from behind the bar. And as you guys all turn in a warm glow of your own colors, they disappear and you are back in your ball attire.
I'm quite curious. Is this how all of your balls go? 'Cause these are definitely not
What?
like the hoedowns I've been to.
Not particularly.
Not that I remember.
I am still I'm still on the chandelier.
No, you're not. No, you just appeared with everybody else.
Yeah, did they reappear where they stood?
No.
Okay.
You're all in.
Different
You're all.
room.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're all in the space. You are all in this space. And when in the warm flash of colors, it's just your ranger outfits that disappear. You are still physically in the
We're
space.
still in the
I
space.
apologize.
Okay.
No, it's not cutting back to Felicity just dangling from the chandelier.
Help!
Right. No, but you guys see again this painting and pastel masked woman behind the bar. This time she is seeming to mix what you can't tell what it is because no beverage you can think of glows in a mix of lavender and chamomile and lavender and cyan and these very beautiful deep pink colors. As she mixes it, pours a drink and sets it aside for herself before taking a sip, before setting it down.
I would love to have one of those if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, well, can we
I
get
don't
your...
believe.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think
Can
we're both
we-
going to say introductions.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I look at Beatrice. Yeah, just like, can we maybe...
Well,
Who are you?
I seem to have 5 seats at my bar. Would you care to sit?
Not with a stranger, no.
Oh, well,
My name
well, the only way.
is the only way. As your friend Arthur Percy Blackwood was going to say, Francis Badrick Brown. One can only make friends out of strangers by drinking with them.
Now, how did you know I was going to say something along those lines? That's a little on the strange side. I mean, I guess
You
it's
can
no
say a
stranger
little-
than turning into some weird armored warrior at a ball, but
Ranger is the proper term.
range.
Ranger, and is that what we turned into?
That is exactly what you turned into. I will to ease your worries, Francis Badrick Brown, Beatrice P. Douglas, Miss Felicity Fairfax. To ease your worries, for I know that Arthur Percy Blackwood and Cabin Cavendish have no such issues drinking with those they don't know. My name is Morphia. I'm the Queen of Dreams.
I imagine Cadman like dings like
Is
a
already at
drink.
Yeah,
right?
just to be like
they're already at the
Like
bar.
immediately just like ding.
Yeah, like I imagine that when she said that, you and I were already like sitting down as like,
Yeah.
no, like I'm okay with
And
this.
the two of you are actually at the extremes, and you reach over to each other to ding your glasses real quick. So there are 3 openings between them. That is my name. Would you feel more comfortable introducing yourself? I'm happy to take the introduction as she pours, and each of you get a different colored drink that matches the color of the uniform you turn into on the bar in front of you, on the bar in front of her. Cadman, your drink tastes of stories from Clovis, of sea and swashbuckling, the bite of iron as as stories of him being cut, of the smell of gold. Arthur, yours is dusty in a way that smells of home, of horse and hoof and trail.
Interesting. That's a solid flavor right there.
Does
I will take a
Felicity,
seat.
as you take and sip your drink, it is salty as sky whiskey. It is clean as the breeze right off the coast. It is your mother's laughter.
That is a sharp drink.
I
One that I
look to
hope
Beatrice. Oh, sorry.
Warms you. One that I hope also warms as well as the shark.
Yes. Thank you.
To Beatrice, would we? What do you
At
What do you
this
think?
point, and I stride forward and pick up the drink. Well, your name is definitely representative of something of fey nature to me. I observe it. Almost looks like
It is a
stick.
gift with no. It is a gift with no strings.
All right, and I take a sip.
And it is. It is very stout-like in mouthfeel. It is. It is the taste of peat. It is the fire of your family's blood. It is the feeling of pride as you read the letter of your uncle congratulating you and giving you your due reward pulling for putting for pulling England's boxing back from the brink. But there's a pressure to this beverage. It's not one that you're unused to. It's one that you almost feel too comfortable in.
Quite the drink.
Fine, if everyone else is going to do it too, then I just take my throat back really quickly.
It is. It is. Sorry. It is Jamaican cane sugar. It is the sun on the Caribbean Bay. It is your father's hand on your shoulder and your mom and your mother and your mother's embrace.
I don't know what he's having.
He tries to so he tries like you can tell he likes, he's trying not to like, he's like, I mean, it's okay, I guess. I mean, had one drink, you've had them all. We can tell he really does like enjoy it. He's like, the look, so yeah.
So why are we here, and why were we chosen to be your rangers, as you said?
Because to answer that story, my dear Count Blackwood, I must tell you another story. Long ago, there was a time where power ran freely through these isles. Back in the time of Arthur, of Merlin, of the Knights of the Round, back when my people freely walked these lands. Miss Douglas is a very astute individual. Me and my counterparts are indeed members of the old courts of the Fae. In a gambit we made with Merlin, we three great lords of the Fae, one of Earth, one of Star, and one of Dream, decided that for the powers of our realm, we would every 100 years, a game would be played. A game played within the mortal realm, held firm by rules. Which you now find yourselves as parts of, due to a combination of your own personalities, your own foibles, your own strengths, and your own bloodlines.
Said a game. Does that mean that what we were fighting, or in a sense, the other team, or your companions?
Not mine. Not mine. The individual who summoned those creatures of his, he calls them starlings. His name is Celestor. He is Lord of the Heavens within the Fey realms. He is no friend of mine. But we are bound to game, as Merlin called it, and so we shall call it also.
So you said dreams, stars, and earth. Which one would you
Correct.
be? I'm assuming dreams.
You would be correct.
And I suppose there is an Earth Lord.
There is. Lord of the Lands and the last winner of the game. The one who wins the game last cannot play again, but must mediate the next round.
See.
If all goes according to plan, you should never meet him, and I pray that you never do. He is a figure as merciless as an earthquake, as stalwart as the stones, and his temper is as ferocious as the seas in the middle of a storm. But he can also be kind if he wishes to be, much like your own earth and the ground beneath your own feet.
So, who generally wins these games, if I may ask you?
I have won a handful. Celestia has won a handful. Whenever the Lord of Earth plays, he wins for keeps.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be bold here, but
Please do. That's why you were chosen.
This game seems unchivalrous, dishonorable. You're putting many people at risk, in danger.
The other option, my dear Count Cavendish, is the entire world being played for a stage.
So we get played as pawns, and then hopefully no one else gets to have to be played.
There was a bargain that was struck within your family lines back when this contract was first sealed. With yours and many of the other great families, a contract that whenever a new high noble is placed within the realms of these lands, their family is entered into through the oaths they swear to their queen and king. It is hidden in the oaths that are said.
Well, not that I'm denying to play this game, but what happens if we choose not to be pawns and we allow Celestor to win? What
If
happens?
you allow Celestor to win, he wishes to break the game. By doing so, he wishes to take control over the Fey realms, and through that, your own realms as well. The only thing keeping his power in check from running a rampant here and bringing the very heavens down to the earth is the rules of this game.
So there's no winning. It's just a cycle that's going to keep happening then. Temporary victories is all we can hope for.
Not for
Which
you.
is fine. I mean, a victory is something, right?
No, there is an end to this game. Each of us are given, and she moves her hand over the bar, and you see your 5 tarot cards appear before each of you, and you see 2 additional tarot cards appear closer to her behind your guys' cards, equal distance from each other. I have my cards. He has his.
So he can choose other people too? Is that what you're...
Celestor bends the intentions of the game. He hoards his cards for himself, using them to empower his own starlings, but only his greatest constellations. Felicity?
Yes.
With her saying that with her saying that you remember back to the 17 individuals floating around that creature.
Yeah.
Those he will empower if he feels the need to with the cards. That way, if things fail, if he's quick enough, he can retrieve them, preventing their loss. He twists the intentions of the game because it was meant to be a fair competition between champions.
What happens when you win?
When I win, do you remember? Have you heard of what your people, I believe, now call the Enlightenment, the Renaissance? These periods
It,
of time where innovation and dream are given reality.
yes, the most honorable of times.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm quite proud of them as well.
So, are we safe to assume Celestor might have been during the Black Plague?
The Black Plague, the fall of Rome, the destruction of the Qing dynasty, the fall of the first house of Japan, the War of the Roses.
Yeah.
Could you clarify something for me?
Of course.
While we were fighting the starlings, as you call them, I saw Badrick fighting most valiantly against one of them, and there appeared to be about 17 lesser starlings above it. Is that connected to it?
That would be Sagittarius.
So this is one of his powerful constellations.
Correct. If he was in that moment so wishing to, he could have used one of his cards to empower and cause Sagittarius to become its truest form. What you saw was one of his constellations contained. If you're able to disrupt, if you're able to break the containment of the other starlings that he has put into creating that individual, you have a chance to remove it from the board. If you remove all of his constellations and he has no way of spending his cards, I win. If you're able to remove him from the board, so to speak, and claim his cards, I win.
So
Great.
we need to fight these constellation individuals. And are we to wait for them to appear, or can we go after them ourselves?
That is part of the insidiousness of how he plays. He doesn't, with him not speaking proper champions but using his own creations, he can dictate when and where they appear. I can send you at a moment's notice. There are things that you can do to assist. Foster growth within yourselves and within the people around you. Create bonds. Move yourselves forward and try to make yourselves better. The more growth and the more of yourselves you are unlocked and honest to, the more powers you are able to draw from these arcana. And through these progressions, if you are able to claim the cards of Celestor, if they resonate with you, you can claim their powers as well. It's happened but one time, but that once proved that it was possible.
Well, I have another odd question. Are you by some chance connected to that talking cat I spoke with the other evening?
Good fellow. A representative of mine.
Yes, well, that was very odd, if I do say so myself.
With the Blackwood that I was afraid I was going to have to use for this, and you taking his place, I had to be sure.
Oh, how drab. Can you imagine your Cedric as a ranger?
But boorish oaf. No. Ugh, couldn't possibly. No.
I don't think he would have made a very good ranger at all.
Clarify, your chosen champions of Rangers are the upcoming title holders? of their families?
No, not necessarily.
Right.
Simply members of the blood within 2 generations.
What about Cedric's sister? She's a sweet girl. You said I had another cousin when we his sister.
Oh,
Cedric's sister?
yes. I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah.
The Blackwoods are special. She does not have the necessary knowledge to be a ranger for the House of Blackwood.
Interesting.
Well, the rules of the game seem simple enough. Squash these constellations as they come, and you win the game, and so do we.
I'm assuming that this Celestor's not going to play it nice. He's going to try to find ways to put people in danger.
Correct. He will try to force your hands to give him your cards. He is not above trying to harm people. He is not above trying to take hostages, to be bought off by power. He will abide by the rules of the game, but he will not abide by the spirit of them.
Well, it'll be simple. We simply tell people that, hey, if you want to stay out of danger, just stick to the Rangers. We are the Rangers, so you'll be safe in our company, and
Be careful. Celestor might have agents among humanity, among your people. If too many people know who you are and what you can do, the more chances he has of being able to turn that against you. I cannot tell you to tell someone, I cannot tell you not to tell someone. That is your choice. But you put yourself, your family, your associates at risk.
all right.
I think for now it might be wise if we just keep it amongst those present for the time being.
Hard to be honorable in subtlety, but it seems like it's
No,
deemed
Sometimes
necessary.
do
greatest
it-
honor
do
is to
you-
carry it without a word.
Honor is an important thing to you, Count Cavendish.
But of course, 'tis the makings of any good fellow.
Is honor done for the sake of glory, or is honor done for the sake of doing what's right?
I suppose it is for what is right.
She smiles.
Though
You can tell by
Yeah.
how the paints and the kind of flourish around that she's smiling at you in her
and
own way.
and I'm just like kind of like muttering to myself, but the glory is nice too.
It is, but you will always choose the right thing given the opportunity. Same for all of you. That's why you were chosen. I had other individuals I could have chosen. Some of you aren't even honest to yourselves about who you truly are yet, but I hope that as a personal gift to you through this, you're able to find out who that is. That being said, she says as you see her kind of check her wrist as you see there's a very dainty little watch ticking away. I believe it's time for you to go. Don't worry, we'll speak again. And you guys all wake up in your individual beds, and that's where we will call a break.
Hey!
Can I? I want to do something really, really quick.
Yes.
So right before like she snaps her fingers, like I want to say that like she dismisses everyone, but Felicity reaches out and like just touches her hand, and like while she's being moved apart, she asks, "Lady Morphia, why did you pick me? I mean, surely Albert's a more suitable choice. I'm not even a fighter."
Not everyone on a team can be a fighter. Some people need to be a soul. And she says as she cups your cheek as you disappear. It is a warm and comforting moment.
And I'm back with everyone else.
Yep.
Okay, now we can break.
Back. Cool. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the break. Duke Brown. You awaken in your bed.
Nathaniel, I just call out Nathaniel.
You hear a knock on the door. Yes, sir. As he says as he opens it, coming in.
How did I get here?
You came home after the travesty that happened at the Pavamati Bowl. You said you were very tired. You came in and you lay down.
Yes, exactly that. Sorry,
It was
just
quite the
whole...
ordeal, sir. Were you harmed at all during these instances of these brigands attacking the Pavamati estate?
Physically, no, I think. No, I don't think so. They didn't lay their hands on me, but more importantly, how's everyone else? Are there have any news about the others? I know it's early, but
Well, the most grievously wounded was apparently, and I did not actually know this because they hid it so well, the current Count Devonshire, Leopold Devonshire, was grievously wounded. He's on recovery. He's on the mend, but he was grievously wounded during that very dastardly attack from above that caused the Pavamati skylight to be broken. But he will recover, and he is stable at the moment. They are expecting a full recovery from him.
Please get a letter ready whenever he's able to. I would love just to see them. So please send a letter of my regards to him, please.
Of course, I will get that sent. I will get that sent as soon as we leave, sir. As far as I can tell, your personal acquaintances are all well and fine. If I will go prepare that letter to the Devonshire estate, is there anything else you require from me?
No, that's all. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Of course. And you see him just smiling warmly at you, my dear Duke.
Nate, okay, don't ruin the compliment. Don't ruin it, please.
No, I was simply going to say, I have no doubt that you will carry yourself properly through all of this. You have been growing so much. I just hope that you can see that within yourself soon. As he walks out, the door closing it behind him.
I think, does he know? Like in Patrick City, like, wait, that was oddly. Just brushes it off and kind of goes on with this day.
You hear, strange fellow, coming from behind your head. Shifting and moving, you see a chameleon shifting into its green colors, and you see where the usual eyes would be, almond lights peering down at you.
I look for a bat as I keep my eyes on it. I'm like, okay, yeah, very, very strange. Like almost like a talking chameleon strange.
Oh, no, I'm not truly a chameleon. I was hoping you'd be a little bit more intelligent than that, but we're working with what we're working with, I see. You may call me Goodfellow. May I have your name? May I have your name?
Francis Patrick Brown, Duke at your service, and
what a
not too
lovely
smart
name. Though. What a lovely name. And no, you're not. The next time I'm
Oh, he froze.
Serves him right. Serves him right. That's what happens.
Right. That's what happens when chameleons.
If I ask you for your name. Hold on. Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, thank you.
Wish you weren't, but yes, you're back.
Funny. You do hear him say, yes, very unintelligent. The next time that a Fae asks you for your name, don't give it to them. You're lucky I'm on your side. He says as he walks down. And as he walks down, you see him touch the bed and slink into the cat that you saw at the rabbit with the purple eyes.
Wait. Okay. Oh, lovely. You can change form too. Very
Of
lovely.
course I can. Can't you also change form at this point?
I mean, I can change my hairstyle, but I do like the way they look right now, so it's not happening.
Yes,
Um,
they are very well done. They're very clean. Your man does a very neat set of rows.
hmm.
But you know what I'm referring to.
So say that one more time. Say that again. I didn't.
But you know what I'm referring to
Oh,
when I say
do
you
you?
can transform also.
Oh, I do. I have the card still on me. Like I kind of reach in like my.
You
Do I
reach
still?
into your breast pocket, and the breast pocket shouldn't be big enough for it, but as you pull it out, you do see the Moon Tarot card in your hand.
Hmm.
Powerful thing,
Yes.
that.
Yes, quite powerful. I mean, we need it for the game we're playing, right? So make sure we gotta have.
You need it for many things. And to get the most out of it, you must work through it, as it were. But I have many people to see. He says as he hops down, and as your eyes follow the cat hopping down, you look over the side of your bed, he's gone.
Such a shame you have to leave so soon.
Don't worry, you hear the whisper right behind your ear. I'm always here.
Lovely.
Beatrice, you awaken in your chambers.
Ugh. Of course. This is the early morning hours, I'm assuming.
It is the very early
Which
morning
is
hours.
Beatrice's time. Before
Yes.
any invitation or other business, it is Beatrice's time.
Correct.
So her hair, just now a mess, looking like a big ginger mop. She stretches up like, ugh.
Long evening, you hear as you sit up, and on your armoire, sitting very regally, is a black swan with black eyes and a black beak.
Oh God, it really is face going on, isn't it?
You know, that is the smartest answer I've received so far.
I know the stories. I honor them as my family always has back in the old land.
But do you know the truth behind them?
The truth is lost to the spoken word, never heard.
You see that the swan nods its head approvingly towards you. Very well done. May I have your name?
Now that's a story I know is true.
Very good. What may I call you?
Well, if no one else is going to hear you but my companions, then I think B is fine.
Madam B, this one bobs its head to you. You are the one that I feel I have the least concerns about. Therefore, my time with you shall be brief, but I shall give you a similar hint that I've given to your other companions so far. In order to get the most out of the card within your pocket, all you must do is work through its meaning. With that, it shakes a little bit, ruffling its feathers down to its tail, which wiggles just for a second as it hops down and does a little swan waddle. As it does, it waddles into your open closet. Do you check in your closet? Or do you know it's gone already?
I just go over and close the door. It's like, ugh, Faye. Izzy! As I call out to Isabel.
Yes.
I am desperate need of a Scottish breakfast right now. Ugh.
2 drops for 3, my dear lady.
I need the strongest thing in the world you can offer me.
3 it is.
And prepare my writing desk. Ugh.
As always, my lady, it is ready, simply waiting for you on the side table.
Thank you. And I begin
Cadman. Actually, no, you'll be the last one because Cadman sleeps way too late. Never mind, we're changing that. Miss Fairfax. You awaken in your chambers.
I did not sleep well.
You did not. In fact, you actually hear, no, you did not. There is a golden lioness with golden eyes looking at you, curled up.
I just kind of like raise my pillow.
I'm not here to hurt you.
I'm gonna lower my pillow.
What?
To be fair, you are the most ferocious one I've been to so far. You see the figure checking out its own giant paw.
Good morning, lioness.
You may call me Goodfellow. May I have your name?
Is Goodfellow your name?
Just what you may call me.
Fee. That's what you may call me.
One more time.
Fee.
Fee.
Just Fee or Fifi.
Whatever works.
You see the lioness nod its head. Fee. That is an acceptable answer. You have passed your test.
Wonderful.
With that, I will let you know, as I have told others before you, and I will tell others after you, long after this game is gone and the next one begins. In order to get the most out of your card, you must work through its meanings. You are given the card to represent you as you are now, not the accumulation of who you are as a person in the future. You are
Just
more
slowly
powerful.
nods.
Work through your meanings, better yourself, and unlock your true potential. With that, it stretches, and it almost looks like an oversized house cat as it does a big front back stretch. As it steps, you see it shrinking down into the shape of a black cat with purple eyes as it walks under your bed.
She definitely like looked under the bed, just like
Nothing
out
there.
in the air, like. And then Flory comes in and just sees me like.
Yeah. So like my lady.
Oh. I thought I saw a mouse go into the bed. That's all. No mouse. No mouse. It was nothing. I was just partially dreaming still. I thought it was a lion, actually. I had some tea.
My dear lady, do you require me to get you something different? There was quite the fright at the Pravamati ball. Do you require me to fetch you something to help you sleep?
Oh, a nice chamomile, please.
Of course, my lady. I'll go and retrieve that now.
Thank you, Flory. Then, odd question.
Of course.
Do you know where that childhood book on fairy tales, about the Fae, wound up being?
Well, it would be within the children's room, which is currently where Master Albert's children are resting. I can retrieve it for you if you would like once they wake.
Yes, thank you. That would be.
Are you planning on reading to them by chance? You do have a very fine reading voice, my lady.
Yes, I do plan to read to them. I think it would be ever so much fun for them to hear about the old stories.
Fantastic, my lady. I'll go and grab this for you.
Thank you. And then she just makes a bunch of faces in the mirror like, I was attacked by a maniac and now they're free in my room and this is fine.
AP.
Sits up.
You awaken in your chambers.
Immediately reaches for his flask.
It is empty.
Dear Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
I need a refill. After last night, I'm a little.
You see him go over to a small chest of drawers that you don't remember being there before. He opens the second drawer, pulls out a new flask that you've never seen before, and places it on the bedside table next to you. I will get this one cleaned and refilled for you, sir.
Thank you. Jonathan,
Yes, sir.
you've been part of this family for how long?
I served your uncle and your grandfather before that.
Do you know anything that might be related to last night's incidents that I know about now that you might know about as well?
You see him pause for a moment. I can tell you that you should take a walk along the central corridor on the third floor, paying special attention to the owl in flight and rest under its roost.
I will do that, Jonathan. And one other thing, could you send a note to Felicity Fairfax, Duke Brown, Cadman Cavendish, and Beatrice Douglas, and see if they would care to meet me here, because I think we might have a few things to discuss and figure out at some point today.
I will send the invitation. Shall I plan it for tomorrow? That way they have time to properly respond?
Today, let them know today would be preferable, but if they have things
with urgency, then, sir.
Yes, whenever they feel free to come. And with that said, sir, I will go to that exact location you informed me of once I get myself properly dressed and cleaned up.
And you do. And when you walk across the third floor, you see that there is, in fact, stenciled along the top of the wall, along the what is it called? Across the top of the wall, you see the owl. You see an owl in flight is kind of swooping up and down, up and down, up and down, and there's a beautiful mural of a tree in the center, and you see on there is lists of names and branching little micro portraits of individuals of the Blackwood. And this is the Blackwood tree. And you see that even with where your name is hanging on a limb underneath your father's, there are many limbs still to go through this family tree. And sitting on the top of the tree, in almost a Grecian style, is an owl with amethysts for eyes.
I'm running my fingers along it just to see if,
Well, the stenciling is the tree is from the top to the bottom. The owl in flight is across the very top of these very high vaulted ceilings.
Whatever I can touch, I'm reaching out and touching.
Right. So you're running your hand across the tree, and you feel, as you reach about halfway up to about head level with you, you feel there's almost like a pressure for you where you kind of like press in a little bit, which I'm assuming you do.
Well, I don't immediately. I look around to make sure there's no prying eyes.
There are no prying eyes. Correct.
And then I will press in.
You press it in, and you feel as you press it in that it's almost grooved, and you're forced your hand to turn with it. And there's a click as the entire trunk of the tree opens up like a door.
Well, now, this ought to be exciting, and I'll step in.
As you do, there is waiting for you in there on a perch an owl with amethyst eyes.
The form I don't recognize, but the eyes I do. Is that you? What did the queen call you? Goodfellow, correct?
I believe I introduced you myself beforehand, sir.
Well, to be fair, I was drinking that night, and I wasn't quite sure if it was real.
Do you often in your drunken stupors dream of talking cats?
Well, I've dreamed of weirder things than talking cats, but that's beside the point. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Are you
again.
well?
Of course I'm well. Fit as a fiddle.
Oh, no. I've never understood that human idiom. How is one fit as a fiddle? There's an
Yeah.
instrument with strings.
Well, the
It has to
fiddle,
be.
if it's tuned properly, it's fit pretty well. Don't you think it plays nice?
So you must twist your head in order to tighten your body?
Well, I get up and I stretch.
Mhm.
Thank you for reminding me.
Humans. I don't know why I put up with you all so much.
Talking
Anyways,
animals. Same.
with all good meaning, sir, I assure you that you know much more than a simple talking beast.
Well, I assume so. You can turn into different beasts. So it's quite impressive.
If I was within my bounds to be able to take my true form, sir, I would ooh. And you see, as he oozes, actually ooh.
So are you a spirit as well? The way you made that sound. What can I do for you? Let's get to the business. You obviously are here for something.
I am, besides making sure that you find your ancestors' study well enough. It's been many places in the world before it wound up here. I'm here to give you a hint that I've given to the rest of your number. In truth, to find the power within your card, you must work through its meanings and find your truest self beneath them. I do have one more individual to visit after yourself, so I will leave you with that, and leave you with your contemplation. Do remember to close the door. We don't want certain rotten fruits of the family tree finding their way in here.
Well, yeah.
Much too dangerous.
I would agree with that. And with that, I'll hit the thing from the inside to shut
Yep.
it if there's
And
clear.
it shuts itself and latches back into place.
And I'll head to the study.
Cadman.
Ugh, what a peculiar dream. Ugh.
Was it? As you look from the right, there's nothing. As you look to the left, there is a full-sized horse head looking you in the face with vermilion eyes at your level. Don't scream.
How are you? You.
How are you? It's very rude thing to ask an individual. Do I ask how you are you?
Sorry, it's not every day that could fit a horse into my chambers.
It's not every day that I find myself speaking to a fop in his bed.
Ah, well, as the French say, touche. Can I help you? Well, I look at my clothes and I'm wearing the stuff that I'm wearing last night, right?
You are wearing your clothes from the evening prior.
Well, never mind. I actually am decent. Huh.
Are you ever truly decent, Mr. Cavendish?
Well, typically not when I bed for the evening. Or bed with. That's beside the point.
I've always had a fondness for fools. Anyways, you may call me Goodfellow. May I have your name?
Oh, well, yes, of course. It's Cadman Cavendish.
And this is why fools are also the most painful. No, if a creature of the Fae, which I'm assuming having a talking animal should be an indication to you of a creature of the Fae. Is that fair?
That sounds astute. Yes.
If a creature of the Fae asks you for your name, you've read the old stories, you are a learned man. Should you be giving a creature of the Fae your name?
I suppose not, but that's all fairy tale. Hearsay.
He turns around and he swoops you across the face with his tail real quick before walking back around.
Oh.
Is this real enough for you?
Well, it definitely was not a dream last night. Yes.
Let's try this again, because there will be many people wearing many faces trying to get at you for this. What may I call you? May I have your name?
You may call me Cad.
Ah, you wish to be a cad? For I can make that happen.
Oh, please. Rumors and hearsay can be as they will.
Shall we make a wager then? I
Thought I was
wager that
already play. I thought I was already playing in a game, but
Oh, you're playing a game, but this is not my game. I wager I can turn you into indeed a cad, if that is what you wish. If you bet that that I cannot do such things, simply make your wager.
but what wager would a Bay actually want?
Many things. I could take your name, your age, your good looks, your charm, your intelligence. There are many things that you have in which I covet.
Hmm.
How about this? I bet you your future that I can turn you into a cad. If I fail, your future will be exactly as you wish it to be, down to the last letter. If I win, well, we'll get to that. You have a chance to back out. The wager has not been struck. If you are not too craven for it, of course.
Well, I would be quite a fool, which I guess I
But you
feel
are
my
a fool,
breast.
are you not?
I feel my breast pocket. That's another thing. Would I be able to trade this? I mean, I don't think the number 0 is very befitting. Maybe I can trade AP, be number 1, or have a higher number.
So you would turn away endless possibility? An infinite future? The fool is not the weakest of those within the arcanic realms. The fool is the one with endless possibilities before them.
Yes, but I want something certain. I know what
You wish for certainty?
comes in with my family and what is expected of me and what I must uphold.
Fair enough. I decide to change the waiver. I decide to change the wager if you choose to accept a wager with me. I will not wager you for your name or your future. I will wager you certainty. I can give you certainty in your life if that is what you wish. Whether or not I can make you a cat, that is.
I think I'll hold off on this wager as I'm still yet to
You are smarter
understand
than
what
you.
I'm working with.
You are sadly smarter than you look, as is often the case for fools such as you. Oh well, there's a little bit of a nicker as it breathes out, and when he's just a touch. It was worth the try. What a shame. I'm usually able to snag one ranger in a wager before the end of my introductions. But be that as it may, I have a job to do, and it shall be done. You, continuing on our previous conversation, are in a unique position, my dear fool, of being able to choose aspects of your own development and fate. You are the fool. Go through its meanings, learn its path, discover your true self beneath the arcana. Doing so will unlock the power that you seek deeper within.
Hmm.
Now, with that done, my deal is struck, and you will be seeing me again, but not for a moment. It shakes its head, and as it shakes, it shifts down to the size of a small black cat with purple eyes, and it walks under your bed.
I slowly check under. I
Nope.
check under the bed. I mean, I may be a playing man, but I know a bad deal when it's dealt to me. And I look at the card that was in my breast pocket, but I feel something else in there too, as I pull out the pocket watch and I look at the back of it.
As you do, you notice the 0 engraved on the back is the exact same as the 0 engraved on the bottom of your card. Every line, every turn, every stroke is the same.
Maybe father knows of this. And I just like I call the help and just like to see what father is up to.
He's currently in his study. Albert had just left, and I believe he is getting himself ready for a business meeting in 2 hours' time. He should be
Oh.
free if you wish to speak to him, sir.
Splendid. And I if it's okay for like the table, I'll like gingerly knock at the door and talk to my father.
Everybody okay with him? Perfect. You may enter.
Father,
Ah, Cadman, how may I help you? You see him flipping through some ledgers on his desk.
I wanted to ask you about this peculiar gift that you've given me. Do you have any histories or dealings with it?
You see him closing the book and setting it aside. Well, that watch has been in this family for a time. And before that watch, there are pieces of that watch that go back even further than that. Why do you ask?
Let's just say I've had a weird stroke of fate.
Fate is a fickle thing. You know, he says you see him reaching forward and, taking a sip from a whiskey glass that he has on his desk, filled, of course, with sky whiskey as he takes a sip and puts it back down. Fate is a fickle thing. You must be careful if you find yourself in a position where you are dancing along the edge of a cliff. You never know when a dog might be nipping at your heels.
Right. Well, I'll keep that in mind if there's any cliffs nearby. Sure, with dear sister, we can't lose.
Of course not. You are Cadman Cavendish and she is Felicity Fairfax. With the two of you together, you can stand against the world and come out on top.
Father, I apologize if this seems out of the blue, but have you had any dealings with my father?
I had many dealings with your father. He was actually quite the dear friend.
Do you have any dealings with this watch?
That watch came into my family's hands from the Cavendish family many years ago, many generations ago. Well, parts that would become part of that watch came into my family's hands from the Cavendish family.
I guess fate has been a fickle thing throughout all of our generations.
Many of the generations of those houses with the obligation of nobility beneath them. As he's talking to you, there's all of a sudden a clamor as if something has fallen, and there's the sound of a woman crying from the basement as Henry Fairfax stands up and starts moving towards the door. You recognize it as the sound of your mother's cry.
Mother!
It's I don't it can't be true. She is at the door, and there are two sailors who look very, very solemn.
I'm gonna help Mother up. Mother, what is the matter?
They, Elvis, and no, they can't be.
Wait. No. What do you mean? What's wrong with brother?
They- Their ship was lost at sea.
You see, uncharacteristically, like Cadman kind of laughs. It's like, well, I mean, he'll find himself soon enough.
They- There was a part of the bow with Lady Fortune's painting and figure were found.
Okay.
You feel Henry Fairfax's hand on your shoulder. Cadman, we need to have a discussion. If this is true, we need to talk. You are now the Count Cavendish. And you remember back to how Morphia addressed you throughout your entire conversation with you.
That can't be true. I mean, honored as I could be, but I mean, what about Cecil? What about what?
You are the Count Cavendish, at least in interim, until we have more news. There has to be a Count Cavendish.
Right.
This is not a permanent thing. We don't have proof of them being passed yet. But while we search, there has to be someone to hold the title and manage aspects of the estate that need management.
Right. Yes. Father, it would be an honor and a privilege.
Felicity, I'm assuming that once you heard the cry, you also came running
Yeah,
as
she
well.
did, and what happened was she came to the door frame, and there was the gasp when she heard the news, and then she turned back into the room and put her back to the wall, and just sank to the floor. And now she's
Auntie,
thinking,
are you okay?
who's talking?
They're actually both there. Both of the children are there.
Yes, I had a bit of faintness. I'll be all right. Thank you. You're so kind to be worried about me.
Well, Father always says that to be kind is the hardest easy thing to do. Is that true?
Certainly can be. So, story time? Would you like me to read?
Yes.
Right.
As they
course.
each kind of like take one of your hands and you compose yourself and you take them back to the children's room.
And I open the little fairy book that I had asked to get out, and I imagine it's like really like watered down. Like
It is. This is definitely designed for polite society children. This is not like the actual fairy tales. No.
Yeah, and so there's like a little bit of truth that like kind of got through, but most of it's been pretty like sanitized. So she reads that, and and yeah, that's what she'll read her book, and after the kids have had their books read and are playing again, she'll
try to find Cadman and the other adults.
So, when you find the other adults, Cadman is not there. Where is Cadman at this moment? Or can I tell you a recommendation on where Cadman might be? Because Cadman might not even be in the house.
Sure. Yeah. Give me a.
You, in your one of the many letters from Clovis about his many sword adventures, he always mentioned that if anything was to happen to him in his office, behind the painting of Lady Fortune, there is something waiting for you there if you choose to claim it. If he is to ever go, and he specifically says if he is ever to go missing, there's something for you there if you wish to claim it.
Yeah, I will go. Yeah, go into my brother's his study or his room.
So it would be in his actual place of business.
Okay, yeah. So
in his yeah.
study. Yeah.
So
I'd go
Felicity,
to
as you try to find Cameron, you are told by one of the family's footmen that he took his horse and said he was going to Fortune's Favor, which is, as you know, the counting house and shipping firm that Clovis Cavendish founded.
Okay. Let me see if she's smart enough to like put that together. Nope, she has no clue why he went there. Okay. So she odd. And then she'll go over to she'll find Papa and I'll talk to Dad. Papa and Mama.
You see that your father is sitting and holding Mama's hand, and you see him talking very softly to her. You see Albert has his hand on her shoulder. You see Margaret is there. She is being equally solemn as they are talking through things.
Quietly enter the room.
I overheard.
Dear sister, you see as Albert kind of gives a gentle squeeze on her shoulder before he makes his way over to you. We don't know where Kedman's gone. Could you retrieve him for us?
Oh, well,
do you know where to find him?
Yes, I do.
If you could retrieve him, I don't think he looks over towards Lady Cavendish. I don't think him being out of her sight at the moment is the best thing.
Right, rightly so. And I go over to Mama and I hold her hand for a moment, and then I'll get up and go out to the footmen. While she's doing that, she's holding her. She has a like a black jet pendant that's a grieving pendant that she has from her mom and for her mom's passing. So now she's nervously holding it because she potentially has lost someone else. Flory!
Yes, my lady.
We must go out and fetch Cadman.
Of
Can
course.
you please get the carriage ready?
Of course, my lady. And very quickly, the Fairfax Cavendish carriage is pulled around. The driver is there. Where to, my lady?
The counting house.
As you say, and off you go. Catman, you have a bit of a lead on Felicity. You are able to get to the office. You get to his office, and you do see this beautiful, large oil portrait of Lady Fortune, his ship. It's a beautiful ship.
I very slowly walk up to the painting and I'm just like, I'll just hold it for you for a while. I look behind it.
As you go to look behind it, as it pulls away, you see that the wall around it comes out also. You are vindicated as you see a pirate's trove of goods, weapons. You see curled up flags from around the world.
I knew it. I knew it.
And there is, in the center of all of that, a worn journal.
I pick up the journal.
Herein lies the accounts of Sir Serial Cavendish, first of his name, the first foolish arcana.
What was the name again?
Serenvish, Cerevinsh. Serenvish Cavendish.
Oh.
As you stand there with it, you hear the sound of steps coming up from behind you. Felicity.
Brother?
You have a moment to decide. Do you close the painting, or do you leave it open for Felicity to see?
I leave it open, and I turn towards Felicity, and there's like tears running down my face. I'm like, see, dear sister, I told you I was right. It wasn't just spice trading. It was.
Yeah, and she has the second big shock of the day. She rounds the corner and sees a hoard of gold, and she's, and then she sees Cadman crying and goes to him, and just hugs him. Yes, you will. You're right. You're right.
Felicity, as you are hugging Cadman, you do see that there is a glowing, and out of all the coins, there's a glowing stone that you have, that you remember a letter from Clovis calling such things a life stone. If one has blood on this kind of stone from a certain part of the Asias, as long as that stone glows, the individual is alive.
And then with she'll like bring out her little hanky and bat her eyes dry, and then say, Cadman, do you know what this is? And then she'll pluck this glowing stone out.
It is a valuable gem. It's everything in.
It's so much.
Everything.
It's so much more. See how it glows. This means it's alive. He would send me letters much like you, and he told me that this is a life stone, and as long as it glowed, it meant that he was alive. So he's out there. He's alive. She holds it to her chest.
That's splendid. That means that means I don't have to be count or take on the responsibility of the house. So
she looks at you slowly, cute, like you, Captain. You. That's you, good son.
No, of course I care for my brother's good health, but now this is proof that he will return, and all will be well, and sister, we can enjoy balls just as we always have.
Yes, yes, of course we can dance and have our outfits match, and it'd be so much fun again. But like old times, like nothing's changed.
Yes, I can just show mother and father the stone, and it's proof that he's alive, and right?
Do you suppose they would take well to knowing that my brother had a magic stone?
I mean, we haven't really told mother and father about the Fey spirits, so I guess that takes it out of the question.
Well, the stone only proves that he's alive for now.
But perhaps he's been captured. Perhaps he's somewhere where he can't
Get free. We should.
I don't want to raise mother's hopes if they're false, on the account that we can't find him.
But maybe we should tell her. Maybe she should know the truth.
She's just like, what's worse? Knowing that your son's alive and you might not ever see him again, or knowing that he is in fact dead.
I look at the treasure trove. I'm still holding the journal. I look back at my ancestors' handwriting and seeing the Serge Fool Arcana Ranger. Huh. Fate is a fickle thing.
Brother?
We should keep it secret for now.
She keeps the life stone and she'll put it in her purse or pocket or something like that.
It is not glowing bright enough to go through things. So it's very easy to hide it, but it is one of those things where if you look at it, you can tell that it is glowing.
At the very least, we know that he's alive.
Yes, we should try to send
Someone to look for him.
Yes, a search party or anything. And I guess
we could use this gold to fund it if we don't want to involve mother, father. We could insist that we look, to be sure.
Yes, we could send a search party and use this funding for use this treasure for. I can't believe that he was such a pirate. Oh, the story.
Well, maybe he just had very maybe he did it in trades. Maybe part of it's true.
I don't know about. I take one of the flags and I unfurl it.
It is a definite crossbones. There's a blade with blood on it. It's a pirate flag.
I guess it could be anybody's flag. Or anybody's blood. Oh.
Just not make it better. Right.
So, as you guys walk, you see that this portrait was actually two-sided. And you see that the other side of the portrait was of the same ship going the opposite direction. And instead of it saying Lady Fortune, it says the Miss, MISS dot Fortune. And the rating is the same except for the flag, which is a smiling skeleton with dice falling out of its mouth.
Well, I suppose that explains that.
That's for the dower, isn't it?
She looks at the gold and she looks at the pirate ship. Not quite sure how to handle this information.
Yes, we'll keep this secret for now. It would be quite a scandal.
let's put a pin in this for now. I think I have enough
Yes.
news.
Pretty
Fairies,
crochet. Yes.
pirates. She just like slowly shuts the.
Yeah.
As
yeah. We do it
the door
together.
is shut, Kevin, and you guys turn around, there's a black cat with purple eyes sitting on your desk, sitting on Clovis's desk. Tell me, Mr. Cavendish, how is the certainty of your fate now?
You know what? It's quite fickle.
Isn't fortune just? You have friends
Yes.
to get to. I assume you are needed in the Blackwood estate. Make there post haste. As it hops down, and as you look around the desk, gone.
How does he do it? Must be a trap door or something, right?
Of course, naturally. What other explanation could there be? There just must be trapdoors specifically for black cats and purple eyes. Nothing strange going on at all.
No, perfectly normal.
Everyone else receives their invitation at your earliest convenience, but with urgency, to go to the Blackwood townhouse.
Yeah, we'll arrive there as well.
Yeah. As you arrive, there is a knock on the outside of the study, AP, alerting you that someone is trying to get your attention.
Is there any way
filled...
to?
Go ahead.
Is there any way to like see out there to make sure it's
There is actually. As you look through the tree, you actually see that somehow you're able to see through it. You're not sure if it's magic, if it's science, if there's some weird trick of mirrors going on. But there is Grimbrook knocking on the side of the tree. Your guests have arrived, sir. Shall I show them to you?
Yes, please do, my dear good fellow. Well, you're not good fellow. I meant you are a good fellow, but yeah, never mind. Yes,
Quite
please.
so, sir. He says as he goes down, and you and the rest of you, the other four, are being led up to a hallway that has these beautiful carvings of owls and this beautiful. None of you have seen it before, but many people have heard rumors of the famous Blackwood tree within the Blackwood townhouse, and you see it now for the first time. It is
fitting.
beautifully carved.
Handsome tree.
And as they get to the door, you guys will see also the tree trunk opens up. I was just as shocked this morning as you are now. Please. And I look around to make sure, coast is still clear.
It is.
Yeah. I wait for them to come in.
Yeah, I'll go down.
Secret room.
Honestly, probably the least weird thing that happened today.
Yes, indeed.
I would not disagree. And as I say that, just after everybody said I say that, I hit the button to close the door. So well, apparently this was my esteemed Count of Uncle's chambers, and seems to be hidden. And from what I can gather from speaking to a morphin animal fey talking creature named Goodfellow, Cedric and others should not be informed of this location.
As he explains that, you see that these chambers are impossibly large. There is at least 5 or 6 rooms back here that separate out from the central chamber, each one in one of the 5 occult directions. If you were looking down and forming the shape of an occult star.
This room seemingly larger on the inside.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
it is.
After stepping in, I noticed the same thing. It's much larger than you think it would be.
Great peculiar tree. But
And what
you,
about?
you've
Have you explored the other rooms?
but you've called us for a reason
Oh yes.
besides
Well,
this tree. I'm assuming.
I'm assuming that last night was not a dream, even though we woke up in, well, at least I woke up in my bed.
Did you all wake up to a horse asking for your name?
Swan for me.
Lioness.
Well, now, but he didn't ask me for my name. He was too busy being upset that I did not remember his immediately.
Yes, and rightfully we did not give the Fae our names. You see, he's just like adjusting his
Do me a
sleeves.
favor, roll an etiquette check real quick, because there's not a bluff check for me.
I would love to. Yep, that's a 6.
Lying through his
Yep.
perfectly
Yes,
damned
of
teeth.
course, Cadman. We all know you'd have the
Yes.
foresight to do that.
Yeah, yes, of course.
Common of stories.
Common knowledge.
We didn't have much time to speak to each other last night after we learned what happened. What are we all thinking here? I mean, is this what we want? Do we want to be pawns for the queen?
Oh, absolutely not. But it seems like
Interesting.
we're just kind of duty. So no, I think it's a terrible thing. We're fighting for some other beings. I want to tell them they can go do something that's not very nice, but
Well,
it's
It is,
duty.
It's
My-
not necessarily that. It is for
My
the.
understanding is this was a deal struck that they have a game in order to complete the older phase of the realm and their powers, else they will go rampant. Fays do like rules and bending them, and a game is most titillating.
well, I mean, I'm never been too keen to be somebody else's pawn, but at the same time, I don't want to allow innocent people to be harmed. And to speak, Duke, on your duty is duty. Well, there's duty, which is like your responsibility, and then there's duty, which is something you don't want to step into. So duty isn't always duty. There's two different types you could be speaking of here.
This one feels like the same. Feels like duty you have to step into. So I think it's
Fair
I
enough.
think it's about the same.
I suppose it has something that is more like the lesser of two evils. We have not assuming our ranger form and doing nothing, and we have assuming our ranger form and helping others. I mean, who
Did
knows what
Morpheus
have happened to
not
everyone?
tell you that you get something out of this also if you win?
But
As you guys look around, on the back there's a series of tables and bookshelves. Hopping down from one of those bookshelves is a black cat with purple eyes. She is often forget to mention this part, unknowingly how often the quid pro quo for mortals truly is. For winning the game, each of you gets a single wish. That so long as it does not break the rules of reality, shall be granted to the best of the Queen's capabilities should she win. This is not done out of the goodness of your hearts. This is a fair bargain to be struck. Merlin, ancient as he was, worked very hard to ensure it thusly. It could go so far as to even bring back the dead if that is your request. Though, be careful if that is your choice.
Clovis.
Well, I mean,
And that is where we're going to end it for the night.
well now.
Who are we rating, boss?
Splendid.
Well, we got together. Now we can discuss how we feel.
yeah.
And plan the next
Yeah.
ball. Hopefully that one won't get ruined.
Oh, there's many balls, and
Oh,
I
I
have
long
really
for
bad
ball.
news. And I have really bad news for you, buddy.
They're all gonna get ruined. Damn. What about we skip a ball and just have a hoedown?
We
We
just
can
have
bring
one
our
of those.
gardening implements.
We just have one of those.
Yes, as long as we don't have to bring our hose and put them down, then I would be.
Do you even own a hoe?
Fortunately, we have them in the garden.
Yes, they're in the garden. I dare
All
not
right,
touch it.
one more time around the horn.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let's start this time with Michael.
Hello, I'm Michael. I played Cadman Cavendish, and you can find me at RoboSardy on all of the socials.
Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I played Felicity Fairfax. You can find me at dungeon_damsels or dungeon damsels. It's the bottle with a butterfly. That's my icon.
Hello, I am Blake, playing, well, unless you're a Fae, I won't tell you if you are, Francis Patrick Brown. You can find me here at ZealZaddy's on Wednesdays.
All right, Morgan.
Okay, well, travelers, I am Morgan with My Play Mondays. We are a group of GMs, DMs, storytellers, whatever you want to call us, and we run games for clients. So check us out, myplaymondays.com. And I was playing AP. I just had a blast. You guys are amazing. You guys are the highlight of my week. Appreciate y'all.
Natalie.
Have a good evening, everyone. I am Natalie. Find me most places on the internet with Ghost Candle or Ghostly Candle on Twitch and YouTube. I have been playing our dear Beatrice P. Douglas, and we'll be excited to see you next time.
And as always, everybody, I am TR Grimm. You can find me everywhere on the internet at empathic_Grimm. It was wonderful and fantastic to be able to be it was wonderful and fantastic to be the master of ceremonies for these fantastic players. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.